And within a day after announcing a major hike in H-1B visa fees, the White House has issued a clarification. It now says that $100,000 charge is not an annual fee but a one-time payment. U.S. Department of Labor has posted a video regarding this. It says that the move is part of Project Firewall, the plan to ensure skilled jobs for Americans first, ending decades-long America Last policies and what they say abuse of H-1B visas. Well, the clarification came from White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, who said that the fee only applies to new visas and not renewals or current visa holders. She added that those who already hold H-1B visas and are currently outside of the U.S. will not be charged $100,000 to re-enter the U.S. This move by Donald Trump's administration is expected to hit India the most, as 71% of over 400,000 H-1B visas approved in 2024, just last year, were received by India. The Indian Foreign Ministry has warned of humanitarian consequences for families impacted by the disruption and urged U.S. authorities to reconsider their decision while instructing all Indian missions and posts to provide assistance to Indian nationals traveling back to the United States within the next 24 hours. It further said that both India and the U.S. have a stake in innovation and creativity, and the two sides must consult on the best path forward. About 85,000 H-1B visas are available each year through a lottery system. Among the recipients this year, Amazon got more than 10,000 visas, the highest of any tech company. Other big names include Microsoft, Apple, Google. The administration argues that many H-1B workers are paid around $60,000 a year, which is well below what U.S. tech workers typically earn. The goal, say officials, is to ensure foreign workers are truly high-skilled and prevent undercutting U.S. wages. Also notable here is that in 2024, lottery bids for H-1B visas fell by nearly 40% after the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services cracked down on abuses such as submitting multiple applications to increase chances. The U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick defended the move to hike the fee and said that either the person should be valuable enough to work in the United States or they should head home. Donald Trump has accused companies of exploiting the H-1B system to replace U.S. jobs with cheaper foreign skilled workers and has cited rising unemployment among American graduates behind his policy. But then tech billionaire Elon Musk had his two bits to share. He's warned that the U.S. does not have enough homegrown talent to meet the demand in critical tech sectors. JP Morgan, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, they have all issued internal advisories telling foreign workers to stay in the U.S. and avoid international travel for now. All right, joining me on the broadcast now is Ankush Sabharwal, who's the founder and CEO of Overhaul and Bharat GPT. Ankush, thanks so much for making time and joining me here on the broadcast. Now, this sudden change in the fee format from a recurring cost to one time within hours, that change has happened. Is this course correction? Is this damage control? Have they not thought these policies through? Give me your thoughts.
See, I'm also reading in the news, but if you see, of course, maybe the course correction, and you see the companies and the media reacted to it. But I see, it's positive for both the countries. I see that way. If you see, it's course correction, and why someone has to take the benefit of the cheap labor available outside the U.S. So I think so now it's level playing field has been set up. I think that's good. And if you see who is suffering, and I think the report which I was just watching, which you were narrating, most the companies are the U.S. companies, right? So I understand 70% of the H-1B visa holders are in India, but see who is getting benefited end of the day. I think it's mainly the U.S. companies. I think maybe the course correction. This is a course correction, of course, for the U.S. Maybe the price would increase. Maybe the cost arbitrage is not there, and who would be suffering? Probably the U.S. companies who would be paying more to the employees, and probably the margins would reduce, or probably the prices would increase, and eventually the U.S. companies will have to pay more for the same work, and maybe at the end of the day, the consumers, right, who are the end consumers of those companies suffer. So ultimately, this is for the US who will have to pay more for this kind of decision. But how I see good for India, so I think maybe for the quick decision, if people want to go out, the good people, good professional, I think they will ask themselves a couple of times or probably 10 times, should they go or not? Because India also has huge opportunities. So I stay positive. I think now, just at the spur of the moment, someone is giving you visa maybe 5 times more than the paycheck you get in India. Short term, it looks very good, but the long term, people were not thinking earlier. Now they will think, and I'm sure it's.
I hear your point, Ankush. But and you mentioned this. If you can just elaborate a little further on the implications here, because we understand that India and of course Indian origin workers are going to be impacted, and as you mentioned, is the US firms which are also going to get impacted a lot, because Indian techies, they are that good, and because of that they earn that kind of money and they earn those positions. They get those positions there in the US firms as well. Majority of them come from India, and they are extremely skilled, India and China essentially. So at this point, who stands to be impacted, who all rather stand to be impacted, because there are humanitarian consequences, as the Indian side has warned now?
Yeah, so that is one aspect. I think if 400,000 H-1B visa and 70% are Indian, I think the impact is not for the people who are already there, who have already got the petition filed, right? So I think currently there is no benefit for the beneficiaries. It's for the future, right? It's from today.
Yeah, new visas. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think that claim it's kind of hurting anyone's human rights or something. So right. So it's for the new entrants, new employees, and students getting into the work life. And should they go to the US, or they try to make their livings here in India? So I think, I think more than a decade ago, 1.5 decade ago, even I got that H-1B visa. It was a lottery system then, not sure now, right? I got selected. So that time. So now you see only for those people. So we have to see whether who was paying for that, right? So I think if I had to go, I'm not been to the US on H-1B. I went to on B1. But who was paying for my petition? It was the US company. Though I was working for the Indian company, but the US company was paying for the fees. So it was a small fees that time, and maybe my salary, and now on top of it's $100,000. So who would pay? So it's a US company who is calling you. They would pay.
Right. I hear your point.
Right. So yeah.
All right, Ankush. Thanks so much for joining me here on the broadcast. That was Ankush Sabharwal, founder and CEO Korova and Bharat GPT, joining me from Bengaluru.